of mine for many years, Jonathan Solomon. And this lady's going to entertain you now. Please welcome Mandy Ingber.
Yeah.
I'll just write some while you're on. I hope you don't mind, Mandy, but I have to write some more boring stuff while you're on. So.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. I'm glad you're not going to be bummed.
Thanks for having me. Crowd work. Yeah, it's great to be with you guys. Honestly, like, it's really great to be here because, you know, I live alone. I'm one of those free spirits, which is what they call a 52-year-old woman who's never been married. Yeah, I'm a cat lady, but without the cats. I can't commit. I just pretend they're in the other room doing their own thing, being independent, you know, which is what they would be doing anyway. And in this way, I don't have to commit to the kitty litter. So, you know, it's great. I also never had kids. When I see a couple with a baby, I don't want to have the baby. I want to be the baby. That's who I identify with, the baby. I mean, I love the outfits. I get really excited when people talk to me in a high goo-goo voice. And according to some of the things that I've done with my former lover, I'm pretty certain that I would enjoy being swaddled. I mean, is it too much to ask to want people to get excited every time I take a poop? Hey, it's quite a yield, I said to myself this morning. I mean, I think that I deserve more applause the older that I get. You know, it's always, it always stems back to the way that I was potty trained. My mother would gather my entire village of Fisher-Price wooden little people, and she would arrange them in a semicircle. And I would wait, which is why I'm here with you guys, working my shit out in front of an audience. Yeah, I'm screwed up. So when I was little, my mother performed puppet shows for me every night, and my father was really into porn. So my my childhood was kind of like the Muppets meet Hustler magazine. But it wasn't my mother's fault. You know, she was so young, and she was busy raising her 3 kids. You know, me, I was the first. Then there was my brother David. And then there was her problem child, my father. I still remember when he turned 30. I was 7, and he had all these really like cute friends, and you know, they all loved me. And so I kind of peaked socially at age 7. And so I got fixated on this age, you know, 30. Like, to me, 30, that was like a man. So, you know, when I was 17, I was fixated on this 30-year-old. And then when I was 30, my boyfriend was 30. And now, you know, I'm 52 and I have a 30-year-old lover. But there's progress. He's an ethically non-monogamous leftist who lives in Oakland, kinky. I know it sounds exciting, but all I have to do is be old. Like, you know that you're old when just being your age is considered a kink. Anyway, painful. I guess I fulfill his MILF or GILF fetish, and he really does it for me. You know, he wears these onesies to bed out in the world, like a cow onesie or giraffe onesie. My favorite is the hedgehog. I mean, it all comes back to wanting to be that baby. It's like having a giant stuffed animal who can hug you and kiss you, and because he's non-monogamous, he's not the least bit threatened when I go to Disneyland. You know, like, when I go to Disneyland now, I mean, it used to be that Tigger was my free pass, but now it's like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I mean, it's like Pluto, Minnie Mouse, that whore, Pinocchio. You should see what grows when he tells the truth. And then when I get to Fantasyland, forget about it. It's like Snow White and all 7 dwarves. That's all I got. Thank you.
Yay! Good job.
Yeah.
Nice job, Mandy.
Thank you.
Nice job, Mandy. Quick note to Mark. don't ever worry about ribbing me.
Okay.
The day I can't take a little shit from a beginning comic is the day I quit.
Oh.
Some passive aggressive.
Sick burn.
That's gonna get to.
No,
For me.
Hey, I am not passive
Sick
aggressive.
burn.
That was a pretty good joke. Whoever said that, considering. Anyway,
Also,
see what I mean? I did it in a passive aggressive way.
Yeah, can't
I
help
like to
it.
explain. I like to do the joke and then explain the joke, and then
Yeah.
probably sometimes I do the joke a third time.
He puts the ass in passive aggressive. Mike Langworthy.
I do. Yes, I do the lack of growth in aggro. What? Stop it! Jesus Christ! He told a good joke and I couldn't take it. I had to try and one up him, and see what happened. Disaster. That's what happened. I went right into the shitter, big time. Just like Mandy when she's pretending to be young.
Hello.
Incidentally, just word to the wise, you may or may not know this already, Mandy, and I apologize if I'm saying things you already know, but free spirit is among the things people like you are called right now.
What are the other things?
yeah.
A spinster, old lady, all kinds of stuff. I am a generation older than you. You could easily be my child. So
When I was in my prime, I actually looked like Anne Frank, so I've always sort of been unfuckable. So it really doesn't. It's not
Can we go
a
back to your place?
That's like the ultimate. It's like
There's
the
an
ultimate
opening
glass
line for
ceiling.
you, by the way, just in
Yeah.
case. You look like Anne Frank, really. Wow. Well,
I didn't want to say.
I'm oddly excited now. I feel bad about that.
you have some problems.
Oh, Mandy, you don't know the half of it. Look, I went straight to offending you. As soon as I complimented you on your lovely set, I went straight to offending you. So definitely I have problems.
That's the first I've ever heard of someone coming out of the attic.
I was waiting.
Voluntarily, you mean? All right. Anyway,
Thank you.
our next performer is somebody who's just started doing the open mic relatively recently, but she's really grown a lot and entertains us every time. And I know that you're going to like her. And I'm going to bring her on right now so that I can start my self-loathing attack for attacking Mandy. I only have 5 minutes before I have to be on camera again, so I got to really work at this self-hate thing. At any rate, please welcome Paula Mattocks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Oh, Mike, cut yourself some slack. We're all assholes, you guys. We're all assholes. We just can hide it better than others. I think.
Some of us are spinsters.
I live with my. Well, this mic is a weird one. Can I tell you? You guys have had your own stuff going, and I live in my penitentiary, which is always weird. But you guys, I think my Prince Charming showed up tonight.
Yay.
And I think I killed it because it was still in its frog form.
Oh,
no.
He finally found me and I killed it. I don't know if I actually killed it. I couldn't inspect the carcass because I had to do a mic. So, hey. So bad. Well, thank you for the mic time. I appreciate it. I need to thank my internet sponsor. You see, my internet is sponsored by my neighbor tonight. Yeah. I need to thank him for not knowing that yet because it would screw my game up so much. I feel bad though, but then I gotta tell you, I'm native. I know you can't tell by looking at me because I'm an incognito engine, but I like taking from the white man. I just do. I'm not gonna feel bad about it. Happy belated transgenerational trauma day. That's what I like to call Thanksgiving, because people always wonder what transgenerational trauma is. And that's a good example, Another one is in my family, we have native names. I never went by mine officially because wait until you hear the story. I'm one of 3 sisters. My older sister's name is Daytime Moon, which to me meant like the sun, you know, and boy, was she hot and scalded everybody around her, you know. It actually was true. And then my younger sister, hers was Butterfly. So beautiful, so pretty, fragile as a motherfucker. Can I tell you? Like, true again. And me being the middle sister, because that's how it goes. My name is Spiked Buck.
What?
Yeah. Spiked Buck. It couldn't be a fawn buck. It couldn't be a full-grown stallion buck. No, it's a spiked buck, which is like a teenage buck, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so my mom said I got that name because she ate deer meat a lot during the pregnancy. Okay, but I grew up feeling like a serious tomboy, and I never knew if it was the name or not. And I was kind of like, I don't think I was transgendered because in my generation that didn't exist. You know, it wasn't even a strain of thought. But looking back, I'm wondering. I mean, I married my husband and fucked my life up that way. But you know, you get to thinking when you're older, like, what could have been? You know, could have checked another box on that. You know. The paperwork they give you, like, what are you, single, married, widowed, you know, check the boxes, check the ending box, you know. Yeah, my mom's the native one. She's not 100% native, but she likes to act like she is. So that's fun. So crazy. Gotta tell you. I have to think, though. I've been native for a very long time. I just realized it means my dad had serious game back in the day, you guys. My white daddy, like, scored himself a native, man. That's crazy. I'm so glad. I mean, he can't get it up anymore, but I'll give it up for him, you know. Thanks, Dad. Yeah. Native moms are dangerous. They just are. I don't know the male equivalent of a native parent, you know. I just know my mom. And she's like if you put all the ethnic moms together and then pissed it off, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I was married for a while. I had I like my mom. I married a white man because I thought there was safety in the patriarchy, you know, so I got myself one too, because, yeah. With him came a mother-in-law, you know, obviously, but she was she came from Scotland. So I was like, ooh, fancy white woman, you know, like, this is cool. This is cool. On our very first Thanksgiving, she called me the night before and started, she thought I was the white daughter-in-law. So when she started talking about Paula's rowdy tribe and they eat too much and they're too loud and they're restless and, you know, I was stunned. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So I put her on hold and I looked at my mom. I said, you know, I thought you were exaggerating when you talked about the shit that happened to you. I said, it's happening to me too. Oh my God. It was crazy. So when I got back on the phone, I said, ma'am, not ma'am. I said, I'm only inviting you to the holiday because it's the literal reason for the season. You guys wanted this. You know, I didn't ask to have to bring you to my table, you know. That's good time, long time ago. But thank you guys. Stay safe, take your birth control, and stay out the hood. Thank you.
Yay! Yay!
Oh.
So Chuck, you had something to say?
I just wanted to send a shout out to YouTube viewer, most active YouTube viewer, Grumpy Flyweight. Thank you for watching and being so funny in the chat.
Sounds like you could come from Paula's extended family with that name.
You know, could be. Paula is good at promoting and draws some folks through the Savage Henry Comedy Group, and other folks seem to be sharing the YouTube. So thank you.
It's all because of me too, because I'm a megalomaniac. You're welcome.
Right.
Absolutely.
Since we're all narcissists, each one of you just assume the YouTube viewer is here. And now that the YouTube viewer has said their name, I'll just brag. Ha! It's one of mine. Thanks, y'all. Glad to have you watching, McGuire. Fuck the rest of you. Mike, back to you and your show.
Oh, yeah. No, you see how he does that? Because he's the producer. Back to you and your little show, Mike. Don't feel patronized or anything. By the way, patronized means. Anyway, what was I going to say? I was going to say who the next two
first.
the next two performers were, because I didn't get a chance to put them in there. I was too busy hating myself. The next guy will be this particular person who I've seen here before and enjoyed, and I think you will too. His name is Curt Seablom, and I'll put the guy after him in the chat as soon as that's done. Okay.
All right, Curt Seablom.
So, Curt Seablom.
Give Curt a nice round of applause.
How's it going, guys?
Hey.
Yeah.
So I've come to grasp a problem that my mother had a problem growing up, and it took me a long time to kind of to really grasp it. She was out all night. She'd come home just to sleep. I know it landed her in the hospital a couple times, but now I can talk about it. It took me a while to figure out what's going on. She was an emergency room nurse in Boston City Hospital at night. Who knew? You know. All right, moving on from that. So, you know, when my dad was never around, so my brothers and I, we had to learn to cook at a really early age. Now, when I was 10, I first made peaches flambé. If you haven't heard about it, it's a dessert you light on fire. Mine didn't. I was 10 years old. I sucked. But I kept at the cooking, you know. So 6 months later, I made chicken cordon bleu. That did light on fire.
Yeah. Not supposed to happen.
No. But you know, the thing is though, like that was our choice. We had to learn to cook because otherwise you just had to eat raw ingredients. We used to eat raw rice, which if you guys have eaten raw rice before, it's not that bad. I mean, unless you're a bird, it'll kill a bird, but growing boy, it was good. But mac and cheese was the worst because that dry pasta, I mean, it cuts your gums up, but the flavor packet, you dump that down your throat because that was in the box and you start coughing up big billows of orange smoke. It's like you're crop dusting. We had to learn to cook, you know? Now my ex-wife, she was by far the worst cook I'd ever met. I came home from work one night and there was what appeared to be fettuccine Alfredo with scallops. And I was like, oh, that looks good. I took a bite and immediately spit it out. It's like, Jesus, this tastes really bitter. It's like it's hot mayonnaise. And she said, oh, that's because it's hot mayonnaise. Why? Why did you use mayonnaise? And she said, well, that's what the recipe looked like. Like you can't go, it looks like a recipe, you know, that's why a Kool-Aid wine never fermented. You know? I don't know. This was another thing. I swear to God, if I didn't eat whatever was for dinner, then the next day at work, it was in my lunch. And one time I came home from work and I still had my leftovers because we had lunch at work. There was a party. And when I brought my lunch home, my ex-wife was like, why didn't you eat your lunch? I said, oh, we had a party at work. So I didn't need it. I said, well, what am I going to do with it now? I said, I don't know. I'll give it to the dogs. She said, swear to God, don't give it to the dogs. They're not going to eat it. What? What did you do to it? What's going to happen to the dogs? You know, they eat it. It was just terrible. I don't know, but so we had to learn to cook when as a kid. And, you know, I mean, I love cooking and I don't mean to sound pretentious. I just am when it comes to cooking. You know, and my mother, she was not a very good cook either, but she was always at work or asleep. But one of the things we used to love doing when we were kids too, I don't know if you guys did this too, but you watch a movie and then you run outside and play in the yard. You play something like that movie, you know? So we'd watch Godzilla, right? And I'd go out in the yard and put the little army men up and just start stomping around on them. Ah, you're going to have extended wait times in the VA clinic. I mean, I was a monster, but I was pragmatic, you know? Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for having me. You guys rock. I'm Curt Seablom. Have a great night.
Yeah, thanks, Curt.
Good job, Curt.
Thank you, Curt. I like that. I may never eat again, but that was funny. Hot mayonnaise. Wow. Sounds like a bad group from the 60s.
You use that when you make hot tuna.
Oh, do you? Do
Yes,
you?
I think it's a key ingredient.
Thank you, Yorma. I appreciate your coming in tonight. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. All right. Anyway, don't make me come out there with a glossary, people. That's what Mark was holding in his hands, that big yellow book. It was a glossary. He's trying to figure out what I was talking about.
Look it up.
Country music. Gotta find it. All right. Anyway, nevertheless, our next performance is going to be by Sukumar, Vijay, Raghavan. Please welcome Sukumar.
Sukumar.
Woo! So this year has been a real pain in the ass. It's been like living 11 months with the case of bad hemorrhoids, or as the Romans would have called it, anus horribilis. And people lost their jobs, and except for the every rich asshole got paid, per annum. But good news is now we have vaccine, at least 3 or 4 vaccines now, and watching their press releases sort of reminded me of high school. It's like every high school, in every class you have these 2 really annoying and smart people who constantly compete for every point, and they'll keep pestering the teacher to get an additional point. So last Friday, Pfizer came up with a vaccine and said it was 91% effective. And then the very next day, Moderna came up with their press release, which says their vaccine was 94% effective. Then immediately Pfizer came back and said their vaccine was actually 95% effective. And the cool thing about these was AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca was like this stoner kid, who spent the whole year out in the yard smoking, and was amazed and couldn't believe his eyes that he actually passed. So AstraZeneca, 2 days later, came up with this press release that said their vaccine was 70% effective. So, but then the best results have been obtained from the Russian vaccine, which has been 100% effective. So they've used a really novel way of producing this vaccine. So the test subjects just got water, but then the placebo contained some polonium. So, when they compared the control to the test, they had some magnificent results that was beaten that could not be beat. Okay, so all this is going on, but every time I watch the news, I get reminded as to how old I am. And one of the things I do is I often mishear stuff on TV. So last week, the anchor of one of the news channels that I was watching said, or I thought she said, was that Dolly Parton gave $1 million to Madonna. And I kept wondering what was wrong with Madonna. Now, how did she lose money that she needed charity anymore? Actually, she gave the money to Moderna pharmaceuticals. But the other problem I have is that I keep forgetting things. So I'm very efficient doing my shopping. Like it takes me about 15 minutes to do groceries, but then it takes me 30 minutes after that to find my car in the parking lot. So I was complaining about this to my colleague, who said, why don't you do what everybody does, right? You would use word associations. You just link the thing that you're supposed to remember with something interesting that you will remember. So 2 weeks ago, I had to go to DC for work, and I parked my car in the parking lot. And usually when I park, I just take a piece of paper and write down the the level and the number of the slot. But this time I thought, no, I would do the association thing. Screw it, I can remember this. And I looked around, and I was parked at C3. So I said, Star Wars, the C3PO. So I can remember this now, right? And then 2 days later, I came back and I entered the parking lot. And the moment I entered, what came to my mind immediately was Star Wars. So I was excited. I said, this thing works. But then I spent an hour walking up and down R2. So that's my thing. I'll stop there. Thanks.
Sukumar, Vijay, Raghavan, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice. Very nice. He went down R2 and D2. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to add the D2.
Yeah, you're sticking with that, Sukumar.
The whole hour. That's at least an hour walk from R2 to D2.
Yeah, he really did not know where he was parked. Everybody, this is a real bit. This has to come from real life. So anyway, speaking of a guy who's all of whose material comes from real life, there's a guy that he's probably going to remind you a lot of Mort Saul, or maybe I don't know. Who would be really realistic? Who's a really realistic comic?
More
Steve
tall.
Wright. Steve Wright, yeah, kind of a low-key Steve Wright kind of a guy. Please welcome, if you will, Ed Smyth. Ed Smyth, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Host Mike. I for sure do appreciate it. I'm Farmer Asparagus. Ed told me I could take his spot. He's over in the hen house, whacking a chicken or stroking a turkey or something like that. Well, I really enjoy coming here and doing some comedy entertainment stuff for you folks. I'll start off with my poem. Well, the corn is growing and the pumpkin is swelling. The garlics are ripening and the berries are smelling. The peas are looking pretty and the beans are coming later. The lettuce growing green and the fields are growing taters. The beets getting redder and the turnips getting wider. The apples turning plumper and ready to be cider. Chickens laying eggs and the piglets are squealing. There's fresh eggplant and the carrots for a peeling. The ducks are babbling and the cows are ranting. We'll fire up the tracker and let's go a-planting. Okay. Well, hey, I just want to let you folks know, all you vegans out there, that I sure do appreciate your support. Yes, indeed. That's nice of you. And make sure you keep eating all that scrumptious tofu and all that sweet, crunchy Brussels sprouts. Well, let's see here. I wanted to take a moment to ask for your support in helping to rout out our country of international communism. Oh, it's a real threat here out in the Midwest. So I want all of you folks to help me in taking the scythe of democracy and slashing those commies at the kneecaps. And then while they're flailing around, smash them over the head with the hammer of freedom. Together, you and I can join as one in defeating international communism. Oh, that's a funny. Okay, well, hey, I invited a little guest of mine to join me here for a musical interlude from the Bronco Bread Show. Hi, it's Wally the Happy Talking Neutrino. Hi, Wally. Hi. Okay, I invited Wally here to sing my favorite Mac Davis song. Okay, ready? I'm ready. Okay. I believe in music. Hit it, Wally. I believe in love. That's right. Okay, get my percussion here. Music is love and love is music, if you know what I mean. Oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? Music is love, like it sends positive endorphins into your system and makes you feel good. That's the most lamest thing I've ever heard. Oh, sorry about that, Wally. Well, I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye. Well, he has good taste. Well, now it's time to talk about dating. Oh, yes. Well, I'm looking for a hot mama to help me detassel my corn and then later deflower me. Well, and now it's time to do my bit about weed. Oh, I know everything there is about weed. In fact, I've got a little song here to share that all with you. I got a weed. I got a weed. I go into my barn. I put on my farm clothes. I grab my shovel, grab my rake, but where are all my hoes? Where are all my hoes? Where are all my hoes? It should be plain like the tip of my nose. Where are all my hoes? Ha 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 ha. My taters are a sprouting. I can feel them between my toes. I feel the need to go to weed, but where are all my hoes? Where are all my hoes? Where are all my hoes? It should be plain like the tip of my nose. Where are all my hoes? Well, that's all I've got for tonight. And back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Farmer Asparagus. Boy, I really feel stupid about making some of the guys earlier. That's all I can say. Farmer Asparagus, ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it one more time. Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
He really speared some laughter. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, ladies and germs.
You know what's funny about that is you can smell his laughter 3 hours later when you
3 hours in the John, right?
That's not the only thing that's funny.
Wow.
Oh, you got him that time.
Farmer. Well, Farmer Asparagus really loves that joke, Chuck.
Chuck, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Oh, yes, he did.
Oh, shit.
Well, our next comedian.
Right. Oh, great job.
I don't know if I know our next comedian or not because I've really had a lot of technical difficulties tonight. I haven't had a chance to check everybody out. And then I'm of an age where the names will sound familiar sometimes when I don't know the people and not sound familiar when I do know the people. So since everybody tonight has been really funny and entertaining and charming, I'm sure the trend is going to continue with Crystal Ramey, and my apologies in advance if this is my wife.
Oh my God. I don't even know how to follow that. I feel like Ed's definitely been in Zoom land a little too long. I mean, I've done I've done a lot of Zoom comedy myself, and I feel like it's like artificial sweetener, right? Like your taste buds are like, okay, sweet, but your brain is like, no, this is bullshit. This is not real. None of it. We're going to carb up later. All right. Because this is wrong. I have noticed a few things about Zoom comedy, though. Some benefits. For example, you guys don't have to leave during my set to go smoke. You can just smoke right there. Yes, you can. And that's how I know if when you tell me, hey, Crystal, great set, you're still lying. You're still lying, assholes. Another benefit is you still get heckled in virtual comedy. Yes, you do. And but now mostly it's in the chat area. That's cool because at least that tool knows how to mute itself. So that's good.
Bravo.
You know, yeah. Another thing is that I find that the silence transcends mediums perfectly. Still deafening. Still deafening. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and don't clap for that if you're gonna, because I wasn't that good at it at first. I really wasn't. What I didn't realize is when they gave me my cape to become America's superhero, I didn't realize that my first assignment was going to be in the terrorist-rich landscape of San Diego, California. We saw things, man, like beaches, tacos from the motherland.
Oh my God.
Comic-Con. I mean, that shit was tough. I was not prepared. I was not trained for that at all. Have you been to Comic-Con? That's some terrorist level shit right there, is what I'm saying. Listen, and San Diego is 20 minutes from Tijuana. And I don't know if they sat around a military boardroom somewhere and they're like, you know what? I know how we're going to prepare these kids for war. We're going to take a bunch of 18 to 23-year-olds, give them all guns, and station them 20 minutes from a shit ton of cheap tequila. Yeah. Pew, pew, get those terrorists, kids, get those terrorists. So here's the thing. In Tijuana, if you're taller than the bar, old enough to drink, bonus. So my buddies were like, hey, Ramey, it's your 18th birthday. Let's say we go to Tijuana and get lit. Except it was the 90s, and we didn't say lit then. We said shit face, like every model American should say. So we hopped into my Geo Metro, and don't give a shit about that car. That car got 517 miles per gallon. That was a good little hamster wheel. Anyway, we hopped into my Metro, headed on down to the border, bellied up to the bar, did a series of shots called tequila poppers. And I did about 7 of them. Now, let me explain what a tequila popper is. Basically, it's very militaristic in nature because what happens is your buddies, they collude with the bartender who then ambushes you, wraps a towel around your neck, jerks your head back, and just starts pouring 2 types of tequila down your throat. And they just keep pouring. Is anyone turned on yet? I'm single. They just keep pouring. And it's basically the Mexican equivalent to waterboarding, right? Because they keep pouring until it comes back out and you start confessing to crimes you didn't even commit. Like, oh my God, okay, it was me. I was the second gunman on the grassy knoll. It was me. I shot the sheriff and the deputy. Okay, it was not Ted Cruz. I was the Zodiac killer. It was I killed Carol Baskin's husband. Oh my God, oh my God. I created the internet. Oh my God. Oh my God.
How dare you?
My real name is Jean Benet. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was me. When I was 8 years old, I swallowed a bunch of coins to see what would happen. Is it a corn situation? I didn't know. I'm just
oh shit.
Just don't come near me with a metal detector. I'm still looking for a nickel and 3 dimes. The point is that after 7 shots of confessions, I didn't feel so good. And my buddies were like, I didn't feel good. So I was like, hey, guys, I'm going to excuse myself because I'm a lady. And the bathroom was full. So I went to the alley because I'm resourceful. That's where I got sick. That's where I got arrested in Tijuana as a United States Marine. You are welcome for my service. You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Listen, some people wear capes and other heroes have tequila drenched hair and negotiate their way out of Mexican prison with a few dollars and a bunch of jewelry from Claire's boutique. That's my time. Thank you so much.
Yay. Crystal Ramey.
Yep.
Well, I have As it turns
Number
out, I was
5.
not familiar with Crystal Ramey. Now I'm going to be very funny. I appreciate that. And you've solved a lot of mysteries for me. I really appreciate that, John Benet. Don't get back into the beauty pageant business. It's dirty. It's just, it's cold and it's cold and it's hard. It's cold and it's hard. A lot like hey, don't even think about it. Our next guy is another person who I don't believe that I've met, but apologies in advance if you're my wife. Please welcome Patrick Scott.
Hey. Real quick, I'm gonna figure out. I can't look at myself while I do this. This is all right. I'll do it.
It's good.
Don't worry about it. The pandemic started out hard for me because I had to cancel my web series where I reviewed Doorknobs by Taste. That was a real hit to the nuts. It's like, man, I put all my money into that fucking show. It didn't really work out. Bad timing, you say. I'm moving it into other things. I don't know. It's weird. I have a young son. He's like a year old, and I take him to the store. I guess he can't get it. I'm hoping, and he's only lived in a world where people wear masks all the time, which is a weird way to like grow up. I feel like he thinks it's normal for everyone to walk around the grocery store looking like a character from Mortal Kombat. Like he thinks that's just normal. Everyone's got their faces covered. Everyone's Sub-Zero and Scorpion and the peas, getting the peas. I'm sure he's going to be great. You know, locked inside the whole first year of his life. I think it's going to work out great for him. I don't know.
What could possibly go wrong?
I was amazed. Yeah, I was amazed. He said there's 4 vaccines. That's crazy. That makes me feel good. 4 vaccines. It's like that year when like a ton of asteroid movies came out all at the same time. We had to decide which one was better. I'm gonna wait a couple years and pick the Armageddon of these vaccines, and then I'll take that one. Suck my balls, Deep Impact. You're clearly the least liked asteroid movie. I don't want to get controversial on this, but Deep Impact sucked. I watched Armageddon this weekend. I watched Armageddon for the 20th time as a 32-year-old man, and I cried again. I know how crazy that is. I've seen, you know, he rips the patch off of
you got it,
Ben Affleck. Yeah, dude, and I go like, what the fuck? I'm such a lightweight though, dude. I think having a kid does it to you. I think it just kind of like makes him more likely to cry, makes you softer. I don't know. Like I cry at commercials now, which never happened before, you know? Like it doesn't even have to, they put a Cats in the Cradle in a fucking Dodge commercial and I'm start bawling. I'm like, is this going to make me buy this car? Because you make me worried about not being there for my son. I need to, that's what they do too. If you watch any commercial now that has to do with children, they just scare parents with the death of their children into buying the product. Like they had like I think it's a Subaru, and it showed like, oh, I'm driving with my cute baby in the back. And then the next was like, it was wrecked and there was fire everywhere. And then he came out of the dream and his daughter was okay because he bought a Subaru. And I felt manipulated, you know? It's like, whoa, dude. I can't wait till like McDonald's does that or something. Like, hey, if you don't eat this burger, your kid's going to fucking die. Like, hey, if you tried the double down or we're going to fucking murder your kid. Like, we're not even going to beat her around the bush. We're just going to attack you. I am getting older and creepier. I know I'm getting older and creepy because I was at the Walgreens the other day and the woman in front of me said, hey, can I get some Plan B? And I went, nice. Even creepier when I could see myself saying that. It's like, yeah, it's weird. I'm like, man, I should apologize to that poor young woman. Now that I see this, now I see it in my face. I did go to the doctor in the middle of the pandemic. I had to get a physical, and it's weird having a mask on, but your balls out. Like that's what I was doing at the fucking doctor. Like, hey, can you turn your head and cough? And I had to have a mask on. Well, she was filling my nuts, you know. It seemed weird. It seemed weird. I feel like my balls are more dangerous, but not this year. Not this year. My breath is. My cousin bought a Tesla, and he was showing me it, and he went really fast towards the intersection where cars were waiting at the red light, and he put his hands off the wheel and said, "Look, I don't even have to control it." and he took his feet off the pedals, and the car slowly stopped itself. And I was like, ooh, that's impressive. Unless you want to try and kill yourself in your car, and that's going to be really annoying. If you have an automatic stopping car, what if you want to run down a fucking grocery, like a farmer's market? You know?
Yeah.
What happens when you got a Tesla and you want to kill some people buying tomatoes? You can't do it. You got to go fucking gas powered when you want to murder civilians.
I never looked at that way, Scott.
I should jot
Thank
that
you.
down.
Hey, this bullshit. Yeah. Okay, I get it. It wasn't a good joke.
No, I'm not saying it
Oh,
wasn't.
You
very
don't have to
good.
shit on me.
I'm
Very
saying
good,
no, I
very
didn't
good.
shit on you, man. I was just
The
saying.
licking the knobs thing was pretty good, though, right?
Yes.
The whole
Hey,
shirt was
hey,
wonderful.
how about
but
this
I
one?
didn't just laugh.
You know-
I learned. That's what I was saying.
You know what the craziest thing about Airbud 2 is? He was also good at football. Like, whoa, that's amazing. Like, who fucking called that, dude? How is that whole movie not people going, this dog is also good at football? Like, what the fuck? That is it. That's all I have. Bye.
Yeah.
No, that was tremendous. You totally
Splendid.
misunderstood me. When I went after other people, I went right after them. I'm just saying.
I gotcha.
I had a friend who was texting me. Hey, yeah, when we bought the Tesla, after the 32% discount for getting electric and another discount thing, it really wasn't that much more expensive than the other luxury cars. I just want to say, fuck you. in every conceivable way. Fuck you. It's the guy I went to high school with. He says, "Oh, you should have said, hey, did I mention I'm rich and you're not?" Because I've got this Tesla to prove it. I'll drive by your house. I'll wave. Well, I would drive by your house, but you don't live in a house. You live in an apartment, don't you? You loser. You're going to radiology school instead of becoming a radio tech in the Navy. I'm sorry. I got a little hot with you guys. I do that sometimes. You saw I came down on a couple of the earlier acts just because I was pissed off about not being able to get on the computer.
You know why, Mike?
Why?
You care too much.
I care too much.
Yeah,
Mandy,
have
did
to
you
let
hear
it
that,
go.
Mandy? I care too much. That's
I love
the
you.
reason. That was what? I'm sorry.
Said I love you too.
That's the reason, and I know that you mean that from the bottom of your heart. Our next performer, I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's probably the second best comedian I know, named after an Ivy League school. So please welcome, if you will, Yale Hollander.
Yeah.
Wow. With an intro like that, gosh, that's great.
The first one.
Yeah, my favorite one is Dartmouth McLaughs.
There you go. Well, anything that's got laughs, I'm good with anything that's got laughs in it. Please, I'll
But
take
you're
them
funnier
wherever
than
I
Penn
can get 'em.
Jillette.
Everybody, I want everybody to throw in a couple of bucks. We're going to do a GoFundMe for Mike. We need to get him a new timer. The timer he's got now gives me a Pavlovian response every time I hear it. I always think whenever that timer goes off that I've got a waffle ready at the breakfast room at Hampton Inn. So you've got to do something about that, okay? Sukumar, very relatable material tonight about losing your car. I have to say that the worst argument that my wife and I ever got in was when we lost our car at the Shakespeare Festival. We argued for an hour and a half over whether that thing was in Section 2B. All right. I don't know.
Or what, Yale? Finish it. Finish it.
Whether or not it was in 2B. I mean, what? I'm just sharing here. It's just a little anecdote. I don't know what's more pathetic. The fact that I Googled, can you deep fry a turd, or the fact that there is a plethora of information out there on that subject. It's a trick question.
Make sure you do it outside.
The answer is actually C. The most pathetic thing is the fact that I did that Google search researching something for a submission to the New Yorker. So there you have it. I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. Anytime you're reading an obituary and it says that the person died after a brief illness, that means they choked to death. Okay. Seriously, when is the last time that you were reading an obituary and it said something about, somebody died after choking to death? And do not say Mama Cass. Do not say Mama Cass. She had a heart attack. There was a half-eaten ham sandwich on the table, but she died from a heart attack. Actually, the most, I think, notorious choking death that we ever found out about was Tennessee Williams, who swallowed, or at least attempted to swallow, the bottle cap from the bottle of uppers that he was taking, and he was found dead after having choked to death on the bottle cap. But I say all this just to kind of fill you in on that little code there. So the next time, you see, Joe Smyth passed away peacefully. First of all, it wasn't peacefully. After a brief illness, that was probably like too big of a chunk of garlic kielbasa or something like that. So just a little bit of code there. Thought you all might be interested in it. Did anybody forget Thanksgiving? Let's just get this out here right now. Did anybody forget Thanksgiving? Because all I know is that the second that Halloween was over, everybody was all up in arms about the commercials are starting too early. The commercials are starting too early. We still have to get through Thanksgiving. We don't want anybody to forget about Thanksgiving. Nobody forgot about Thanksgiving. Now that it's over, can you please leave us in peace so we can enjoy the Toyota-thon? Okay? That's all I got to say about that. I mean, I understand it creeps up on you earlier and earlier every year. I mean, shit. I'm still addressing cards from Lobster Fest, but we get through. We get through. Speaking of the holidays, I flipped off the Salvation Army bell ringer the other day. Did I do it as a political statement? Did I do it because the Salvation Army is one of these organizations that their annual budget is really bloated with executive salaries and perks and things like that? No. Did I do it as a statement because the Salvation Army will refuse aid and comfort to people whose lifestyles they don't agree with? No, I did it because I'm one of these people that thoroughly enjoys being an asshole. So oh, my waffle's ready. Get the drool ready there.
Well, it's a Pavlovian response, so let me see you lick your balls.
Speaking of nutritional issues, though, I did recently come to the conclusion that if you dip a Hershey bar in ranch dressing, that's considered a salad. So take that for what it's worth. Actually, I think that's all I'm going to do tonight. So I yield the remainder of my time to the distinguished gentleman from. Oh, wait, it's Mike. Yeah.
To you. Neither a distinguished gentleman nor from Kentucky. Originally, I'm from Michigan originally, so don't fuck with me. I have guns. They're actually issued to you in the hospital, like they give you a football in Ohio. Anyway, that was great. By the way, I think that's an actual joke that I've heard by some English comic that in Scotland, a Hershey bar dipped in salad. No, it's a Snickers bar dipped in salad dressing is considered a salad in Scotland. And they also serve deep fried Snickers bars as a dessert. That's just a fact. See, like you remember, I hope Patrick is still here because I was trying to teach him that it was really this is the mic where you don't just laugh, you learn. Now we have a thing that we like to do here every once in a while is bring up our producer when he has a couple of new jokes that he's working on and let him come up as a special guest. It's the open mic equivalent of I was just taping Across the Hall on the Johnny Carson show. For those of you who are old enough to remember that, when people used to walk, we were just doing the special. Dean, Sammy, and I were all doing the special Across the Hall.
Hope.
And Mr. Bob Hope.
That's right.
He never became Sir Bob Hope, interestingly enough, as long as he lived. And he was from England. It still didn't happen. Again, you don't just laugh, you learn. In fact, In my case, you don't even laugh. You just learn.
I'm learning to laugh.
So I'm going to bring, by the way, can we have one more hand for Yale, because I interrupted at the end, and he handled it very well. He was a very good guy, very respectful in ways that I don't deserve. So please welcome our producer, the reason this show is happening at all, and not the reason it's happening on the phone for me, by the way. Let's bring Chuck Roy up and let him entertain you.
Thank you, Mike. You're really putting the try and tripod today, my friend.
Yeah. I'm putting the try in. I try your patience too.
You're there. You're doing fine. Look, I love the timer. We're not getting rid of it. If any of you don't know, Mrs. Open Mike gave Mike the timer. So there's no fucking way we're getting rid of that. She's just, what can you do? She's a doll. Sorry, Yale. I'm sorry. Either way. Today started with just almost like an instant reflection, one of those moments where life greets you with comedy, a moment that, I sort of had reflected based on conversations with you and some of your latest material. Like I walked right into your material. I got into an Uber today and was inspired to immediately say to the driver, "I'm sorry about your candidate." And it flew out like snarky, evil, as much as I meant it. And the driver put it together, and the driver's like, "What, just because I listen to country music, you think I'm a Trump supporter?" And I was like, "No, because it's new country music." And then later I read the text messages from Uber warning me that, or advising me that my driver had hearing difficulties, and I felt bad and therefore understood the new country. I'm a winner, Mike. That's what I'm thinking about. This
Are
week.
you?
Reflecting on, if you guys don't know, you are looking at the 8th grade winner of the Home Ec Award at my elementary school. I won. I swear to God, not only was I good at baking, but my macrame project is what won me the award. If you don't know what macrame is, that's where you weave strings and yarns until it reveals that you're gay. What can you do? Thanksgiving was fun. My friend's grandmother, he calls her Mamie. She came out transgender, and I was like, "She's gonna get the operation?" And he said, "Man, that's a real cockamamie idea."
Oh.
Cut it out.
Don't you groan at him.
What
Try and
can
keeping
you
it nice
do?
here.
What can you do? This year for the holidays, we're gonna have a Zoom holiday in my family, which is great because most of my family is two-dimensional. After today's episode, I know what I'm getting everybody on my list, including someone special. Nose hair clippers, just for this move. Can you hear me? Anyway, it's going to be 8 p.m. in Nuuk, Greenland, when we do our New Year's Eve show, Mike.
Is it?
It's going to be midnight when we do the New Year's Eve show. We're starting at 7, and that's New Year's. We thought absolutely nowhere, and turns out it's in the capital of Greenland. The city is, I believe, called Nuuk, which is pronounced rarely. Okay, that's it. I have one Greenland joke today, and I feel really good about that. New Year's has started
You're
off
working your way
with a
through the
bang.
entire planet, aren't you?
Right. I'm going to ask the one guy there to hang a poster Anyway, thanks for letting me get some jokes in. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang a poster on what? That's what I'd like to know. A sheet of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 3 years, it'll be a resort. It's unbelievable. It'll be like Buenos Aires or something. People will go there for the waters. Why am I'm just rambling. God, geez. If I didn't hate myself already, I do now. Fortunately, I did. But so there's no growth. There's no growth in my personality. I think you probably all sensed that at the beginning of the show. But I'm going to give a big build up to this next guy. Why? I don't know why. So maybe I won't. No, he's funny. And he's been a friend of mine for a long time, in addition to having worked as a television writer and as a stand-up comic for many years. You may have heard his jokes coming out of Bill Maher's mouth or Conan O'Brien's mouth or all kinds of stuff belonging to Ned has come out of various comedians' mouths. So please welcome, if you will, Ned Rice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Rice, come on.
Thank you, Mike. What an intro! My God.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough.
And you
Settle
deserve
down.
it. And you deserve it, my friend.
Kind of my time now, Mike. First of all, Yale. I hate to correct a Yale man. I think the most famous choking death in history was David Carradine. I'm pretty sure.
Thank you.
We can look that up. Paula, my good friend Paula mentioned ADHD, and I was thinking today, kids today are so lucky. We didn't have ADHD when I was growing up. We had to finish everything. It was just the worst. My girlfriend is a much younger person. She's a millennial, and she has ADHD. Her favorite book is Eat, Pray. And I think that's so sad. Right? The poor girl. It's a problem. I have a bunch of Thanksgiving jokes, and they're all leftovers, which is kind of ironic. But here we go. I had to cook this year because if anyone in my family cooked Thanksgiving dinner, we would have turkey, hot dogs, and stovetop stuffing. And they would make the stuffing, the stovetop stuffing, they would make it in the microwave. That's how fucked up they are for cooking. So I had to cook. And I decided to do a really authentic, like the original Thanksgiving. So I bought the turkey and I brined it in kosher salt, brown sugar, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. I air dried it, and then I filled it with sliced lemons, onions, fresh oregano, and peppercorns, and put it in a cooking bag and basted it every 20 minutes with butter. And I thought, this is just like the original Thanksgiving. I'm sure they were foodies then. I'm just picturing Miles Standish in Squanto saying, did you go with a kosher bird this year? Because they're a little drier, We were going to pair it with maybe a Pinot. The truth is, the Pilgrims probably put that turkey on a wooden stake and cooked it over an open fire. So next year, I think that's what I'm going with. But the Thanksgiving thing for me, I don't mean to get on a soapbox here, but a lot of people talk a lot of shit about this country. And I understand that. But I think it's remarkable that the United States of America is one of the few countries, maybe the only country in the world that sets aside one day every year for us to celebrate and remember and commemorate how much we hate our families. I think that's important. I try to keep that spirit alive all year long. My family is a disgraceful ragtag bunch of misshapen circus freaks of hate. I despise each and every one of them. And yet I love them because they're my family, you see. So I don't know. I have family members that have bucket lists and they talk about them. That's the kind of people we're talking about here. That is their idea of conversation. I'm not a big fan, but there you go. That's the Thanksgiving thing. It's Christmas shopping season now. A lot of people are going to be buying a product by a man named Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell took a rectangular piece of fluffy material and he enclosed it in a cloth cover, and he calls it the My Pillow. or as I call it, a fucking pillow. It's a fucking pillow, folks. You can't just put the word my in front of something that already exists and call it yours. That's not how it works. We've really lowered the bar in this country on innovation. There's another new product that I see online all the time. It's called the Untucket Shirt. It's a long sleeve button down men's shirt, and you don't tuck it in. Let me just unpack that for you. You put the shirt on and you don't tuck it into your pants. And the inventor of this Untuck It is a rich person. Excuse me, I think I invented that in the 6th grade. And I think I'm actually rolling out, so to speak, my invention. It's called the My Wheel. It's a circular object. I think it'll be useful in transportation. I think it'll have many applications, and I expect a hefty series of royalty checks for the My Wheel. Look for it in your favorite store. I'm getting older now, clearly. I'm to the point now where I do a mic drop in every show, usually by mistake. It just slips out of my hand. It's one of those things. Mike Masters mentioned that he has a new sex position that he's created due to his aging self. I did that too. My favorite sex position now is called the fish ladder. Once a year, I swim upstream as far as I can, expel my semen into some rocks, and then I float to the surface dead. That's my thing. That's what I like. And I found out that I have sleep apnea, so I got a CPAP machine, which is weird. You hit the play button, and a bunch of old white conservative guys talk about supply side economics. Breathe deep and restful sleep. It works like a charm. But when you get to a certain age as a man, you get to certain kind of life moments, landmarks. I've gotten to the point now where I need my reading glasses to watch online porn. And it's a new world, it's a different thing, and it's okay. What I think is weird is there's a new porn category called "That's Okay, Sir, We Can Just Cuddle." I think that's a strange thing to be making porn about. I feel it's kind of like, I feel a little bit pandered to. I think that's weird, and I think the next step is probably TTYL, hearing impaired porn. She wants his clock. What did she say? Like, I don't get it. So that's what I have to look forward to. And that's all my time for tonight. So thank you very much.
Oh my God. Ned Rice, ladies and gentlemen. Ned Rice.
To you. It's great.
First Thanksgiving, turkey roasted over a fire.
Yes.
Next Thanksgiving, took over Massachusetts. Third Thanksgiving,
death.
Killed a bunch of Cherokees who wanted Connecticut back. It's just been a wonderful country this entire time we've been here. I see that you're wearing glasses to watch porn now. I can just see what it was like that first night. Hey, these women only have 2 breasts.
What's the deal with that?
I thought I was watching something special. It said Allen wrench, not alien wench.
Oh no.
Yes, Ned. Not only is it yes, but it got a laugh, and I just made it up. I didn't labor with my reading glasses over an iPad.
Must be nice.
Should I wear reading glasses or should I just say glasses? Is reading too many words or should it just be glasses?
It has a funny K sound.
It does have the funny K sound.
You're like Warby Parker. You come with 5 options for punchlines.
That's right. He is the Warby Parker of septuagenarian comedians. What? Not yet. Don't make me older than I am, Mike. It's all right. Hey, you know what? For shows of getting everybody motion sickness by my phone moving around all the time, it was a pretty good show. I have to admit, it was a great show for that. It was a pretty good show by any measure. I want to just reel off a list of all the people who were on the show tonight. It's not in the order that you performed because I can't be bothered. Okay. But I do want to thank Sukumar, Vijay, Raghavan, and myself. I want to congratulate myself for saying that correctly, more or less. Yale Hollander.
Yeah.
Crystal Ramey.
Yay!
Mandy Ingber.
Funny stuff.
Funny. Mandy was very funny, and
Yeah.
and put up. Well, she didn't really put up with me, but she couldn't do anything about it. But she did. But she's just a good person. Just a good person. One of my favorite things, tacky things to say is gives to all the right charities, because it's an old Lenny Bruce line from probably the greatest piece of comedy ever written. But at any rate, let's not get into that. Again, don't make me come out there with a glossary. Curt Seablom. I would love to thank Dee Dee Comedy for her set tonight, but Dee Dee Comedy wasn't here. I'm glad you clapped for her, or him, but he wasn't here. He said he was going to be here, didn't come. Interesting. My computer didn't work, but I came. I got here anyway. I found a way. You know why? I'm a problem solver. I'm a doer. Mark Masters. Hand for Mark Masters. You know, taking that bullet is the first comic. Patrick Scott. I don't know if I said Curt Seablom yet, but Curt Seablom. Ed Smyth, Farmer Asparagus. Every time you get a chance to watch Ed Smyth, you need to watch Ed Smyth. And Ed Smyth has a show, an online show that he's doing in December. Ed, are you still there?
Yes.
What day is it, and where do they get on?
This Thursday night, it's the Bronco Brad Dang Tootin' Good Time Show.
If you haven't seen Bronco Brad, you're missing a bet. This guy is funny.
Well, you put a link in the YouTube chat, so hopefully folks can get to that. And welcome to Jackson, a new YouTube viewer. We doubled our YouTube audience in one
absolutely.
show.
As we should.
I think it was because of each and every one of the comedians we had here. Each comedian can feel like they're responsible for doubling YouTube audience.
Yes. Of course, that's Chuck's way of saying you can't take credit for the first one because that was my friend. Chuck, of course, was as funny as always, and isn't that sad? I think I've named everybody. My name is Mike Langworthy. I am the Christmas Grinch, apparently.
Paula.
Oh, hey,
mention the Native American.
Did you see this in the chat?
That's
Crystal
really
Ramey said her goal next time is to make Chuck snort laugh. That is something that a person should aspire to. I have never been able to do it. That should come as a surprise to nobody who was here tonight. But we had a lovely time.
Yeah,
I certainly did.
A lot of funny jokes. People really, I enjoy the show. The pig snorts are generally authentic. Those are hard for me to fake. So, you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. He never has snort laughed at anything that I've said. Never, not one single time. But then again, what are we going to do? So I guess, are we drawing it to a close? I can't remember which show we hang out at afterwards.
Do you need more of a hug? It sounds like you do a little bit. Could everyone, maybe one at a time, we could trump this and just talk about why Mike is the greatest host we've ever been privileged to work with.
Who's got that kind of time?
Starting with Ned. You did great. Yeah. You came back, champ. You came back like a trooper.
Don't patronize me. Don't patronize me with all of that. I'm best host you've ever seen. Sure, it's true. Sure, I'm funnier than everybody else. That doesn't mean I feel like I'm a better person. That doesn't make me a better person. Being smarter than other people, that makes me a better person.
Bingo.
No, I'm kidding. Come on. Why would I even say that? No, I'm just alienating people for the hell of it. That's wrong. That's just wrong, Chuck. Why did you let me do that? You're the producer. Explain that.
Tip your camera so we can see you.
I do.
Thank you, YouTube.
World War II impressions.
We'll say thanks to the YouTubers. Everybody wave bye to YouTube.
World War II impressions.